Sometimes I will ask you what are the 6 points we have covered so far. So please remember, it's not that I keep talking and you keep listening as you want. We will ask you questions, I'll call you forward and say what are the 6 or 7 points or whatever we are covering. Seek the self with consistent endeavor. Dear friends, consistency is the source by which we can attain success. If we take up something and we are consistent in it, then success would come. Many a times, not being consistent leads us into failure. The source through which we can attain all success is being consistent in whatever we take. We take sometimes, we follow little, and then we do not seek fully. I'll tell you a story. Please don't go to sleep. Afternoon session. So, I have different methods to keep you awake. One is, in and through this story, whenever I say, let's say the word alert, you must clap once. Right? Be a sport. I'm just trying to keep you awake. Because it's absolutely uninspiring to talk to a sleepy face. Okay. So whenever I use the word alert, once. Okay. Once you must clap. And it should be immediate. Not after 2 minutes after saying the word clap, when everybody else clap, oh, I also have to clap. No. It has to be immediate. Whenever I say alert. You see how many times people are clapping? 1, 2, 3. Okay, only when I say alert. No. Start it. Okay. When I don't say alert, don't clap. Good. Some of you are now fine. Okay. We must seek the self with consistent endeavor. Being consistent will give us success. Don't give up on this. It's important that those who seek success have to be consistent in all fields. Imagine a sportsman, how consistent he or she would be. A sports person, how consistent he or she would be to achieve whatever they have achieved in the field of sports. Consistent they must have been in practice. Consistent they must have been in keeping the body fit. Consistent in their food habits. Go to the practice regularly. Be on gym on time. Like a balanced life. Consistently. Only then one can attain success. So there are 2 birds, small birds. The father bird and the mother bird. And by mistake they laid eggs on a seashore. The wave came and took the eggs into the sea. So both the birds were very, very sad, and it was their mistake. They were not alert. It was their mistake. They were not paying attention. There are words to play with. Okay. So they didn't pay attention to the waves and the tide, and so they laid their eggs. And the waves came and took the eggs away. Both of them were very, very sad. And the father bird, little one, said to the mother bird, "Don't worry, I'll bring back those eggs." How are you going to do it? Very simple. I will threaten the ocean. Little bird. I'll threaten the ocean, went to the ocean and said, "Surrender my eggs back. What you did is not fine. Give it back." If you do not give back, the ocean did not respond. It didn't bother at all. So the bird was talking and the ocean had nothing in response, just quiet, went on with its waves. So the little bird warned the ocean that I will dry you up. I will empty you. What? You will empty the ocean. So the mother bird was watching this. What is the bird trying to do? And this little bird picked up a small shell, jumped into the sea, picked up little water, whatever it can carry in that shell, flew this side to the shore, emptied it, went again, picked up. Can you imagine how much of water would be there in that shell? Came back, emptied it, went back again, emptied it. This way, the little bird threatened the ocean that it will dry up the ocean, empty it, and went on taking and dropping. Went on taking and dropping. The mother bird started crying. I lost my eggs. My little ones are gone. Now my husband is mad. He's gone off his head. Can you ever empty an ocean? But the bird was trying. So the mother bird called and said, "Don't do it." The little bird didn't pay attention, went on doing. Few other birds gathered to watch this, what it was doing. So they gathered to watch what this bird was doing. Sir, enough, sir, thank you. They gathered to see what they're doing. And this little bird went on non-stop. So 10 more birds gathered watching this little bird. This bird went on picking up water, coming up, emptying it. Now, little more birds gathered because 10 birds is an attraction. Gathered a lot of attention. The birds flying that side saw 10 of them standing, squeaking. What is it? So more gathered. Some 50-60 birds gathered watching this bird with all alertness. Are you lazy to clap or are you not alert? Now also I said you didn't clap. Yeah. Are you tired? Are you lazy? No. Or are you not alert? Sound is improving slowly. Okay. Fine. So the birds were watching and this little one went on, and now this 50-60 birds went further. A huge line of birds gathered there, must be a few thousand, standing and watching this little bird non-stop picking up water, coming, emptying it. As it went on doing that, one big bird on the sky was flying. From the top, this big bird saw. The whole coast was full of birds standing, and said, "Why have all these birds gathered all of a sudden, all of them together in one place?" So the big bird came flying down. All the birds gave way. The big bird stopped there and asked, "What happened? What is the reason that you people have all gathered on this coast?" So one of them pointed the little bird and said, "Look at that little bird. This bird lost its eggs and Now it wants the eggs back. The ocean refused to give, so the little bird is emptying the ocean. So the big bird said, don't worry, I can help. You can help? Yeah, I can help. The big bird was Garuda, Vishnu's bird. Huge wings. Went close to the ocean and told the ocean, surrender those eggs. The bird made a mistake, we understand. You surrender those eggs, otherwise with one wing I can flap the water out. The ocean looked, brought the eggs up. The mother bird and the father bird went and collected the eggs back. You know who told this story? Shankaracharya's guru's guru, Gaudapadacharya. I'm talking about a story which is very ancient. Shankara's teacher, Govindapad, his teacher, Gaudapad. Gaudapad tells this story in writing commentary on Mandukya Karika. When he writes commentary on that, there he says this. Such an inspiring, ancient Indian tale. You can think about it. It's a very, very powerful one. You be consistent, help will come. It could be extremely difficult. We may not be able to reach it right now, but be consistent. Results will come. The Sepoy revolt in 1857 did not see the freedom. Gave results in 1947. Consistent. You start, even if you can't complete, somebody will take up. But continue your efforts. This is important. Continue with the efforts. Even if you don't reach the goal, don't stop being consistent seeking it. Get this very clearly. I may not get the required results visible, tangible for me to see. So I give up sometimes even on the goal. When Gurudev started his first lecture, 4 people came to attend. Many of them would have packed up, isn't it? Saying, forget it, you can't do anything. He did not. He said, 4, fine, we'll start, we'll continue. It increased 10, 12, in a small town in Pune, in one corner. By the 100th day, there were a few thousands coming and attending. He didn't give up looking at the 4 people. Continued. In all endeavors, if we are consistent, success would be sure. We would gain success for sure. More so in spiritual sadhana. I may be doing japa, I may not see the goal at all. So after some time, if I don't see immediate results, I try to drop my effort. Don't do that. Because in spiritual path, you can't see the results that way. But somebody who has not seen you for a long time, if they see you, they can see your growth. You are growing. Have you seen a flower opening? Except in the films and the television, there they open. Opened in a few minutes. But if you see otherwise, have you seen a flower opening? When, at which moment the flower opened? It's opening, it's opening, it's opening. The bud is growing into a flower and the flower is blossoming. Every moment it is happening. But if you were watching it 1 hour, you would not know at which point. You go back, after 2 hours you come back and you say, oh yeah, it was like this, it opened so much now. Continuously when it is changing, sometimes we can't know, and spiritual side it is very, very slow. We won't know it, notice it. But somebody else who knows you well, who is not around you because they also can't see, but somebody comes away and saying, oh my, I see so much of change in you. Because you see, you notice the change. So don't ever give up because you're not able to see the change. By not putting effort, even if you're not able to see the change, by not putting effort, that change will also not happen. So we must be consistent. What should I be consistent? Study. Daily study. Dedicate your actions. Be consistent in dedicating your actions. Do japa daily. For a few minutes, do japa. One of these, maybe the next session or tomorrow we will see the importance of japa. Do japa. These kind of spiritual practices, be consistent. One more thing you need to be consistent is introspection. Be consistent on this. Every day, 15 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, do introspection. What should I do? Sit quietly. Ask yourself, how was my day? End of the day. How was my day today? What did I do? Did I live a balanced life? Did I get lost into the senses? Did I check when a desire popped up in my mind? Did I put those 3 questions? When I did japa, was my mind wandering or my mind was steady? Introspect how your day was. Please do this. This is a very, very powerful one, but you must be consistent. If you do that, slowly, you will see you introspecting, various things coming to your notice. Otherwise, it is in the notice of others. Others will notice it, not you. But when it is noticed by you, you take action. Suppose I see something in me as ugly. You have been seeing it all the while, but I didn't notice it at all. But the moment I saw something in me as ugly, I'll drop it. Think. If I see it, I will drop it. You seeing it, I will not drop it. You see it and you tell me this is not good in you. Drop it, you change. I'm not going to bother about it. But when I sit quietly and it pops up in front of me, this in me is ugly. This is not good. It doesn't befit me. Then I'll drop it. It's like a mark on your face. There's a mark, ink or keel or something, and you do not know it is there. Everybody is seeing it. But the moment you see your face in the mirror and you see there's a stain, next moment you clean it. The moment I see something in me is not good, I will change it. Introspection will be a mirror which will make us see both good and bad. So what is good, I will cultivate it to be better, and what is bad, I will negate it completely. So be consistent in spiritual practice. Study daily, japa, dedicate actions, and introspection. These things we must be consistent. Nijagraha Thurnyam Vinigamyatam. Escape from the bondage of home. What a lovely statement Shankara is saying. Escape from the bondage of home. If we do not understand the style of scriptures, these kind of verses can mislead completely. My house is in trouble. There's enough mess around. I have created enough. And this is what I was waiting for. Now Shankara says, escape from all that. Run away from home. Escape from the bondage of home. Run away from the bondage of home. What do you mean? Arjuna tried. You know that. He told Krishna, why all this? Let's go away. Let Duryodhana be the king. I'll run into the forest. I'll go away. Krishna said, nothing. You can't go that way. You stay here. Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between 2 warriors. Both were kings. Both had kingdoms. It's a discussion between 2 warriors. One wanted to run away and the other said, nothing doing. Stay here and fight. It is your responsibility. Escape is not that way. So what does here Shankara mean by home? Home is a place where we are very comfortable. We seek comfort. That's why every now and then we say, be at home. You feel at home. Like you go somewhere and it's a strange place, you're very uncomfortable. Be at home. There was this man, and he was sitting with his friend and he said, see, whenever I'm at home, I eat very less. But when I'm outside my home, in a friend's house or a hotel or something, I eat more. So immediately the friend said, be at home. Please feel at home. Now it is important you feel at home. What does that mean? Be at home means there is a kind of a comfort to which we are addicted. That can block your way tomorrow. Think. That can actually block your way tomorrow. That comfort can come on your way between you and God. That comfort can stay and root you down. I do little bit of yatra, travel to places, pilgrims, Kailash yatra. I've done it twice. People will ask sometime. People from India as well as abroad. Many people want to come if they know. And one of the questions very often they will ask me is, Swamiji, how are the toilets? I am going to Kailash Yatra, Lord Shiva. How are the toilets? Well, what is your problem? There may not be toilets. Then open air. Oh my God, I am not coming. There can be toilets. It could be tent pitched up. And we only have to do it, dig the ground, pitch up a tent and then cover it with sand. That's all. I mean, when you want to travel, what do you do? Come for a camp, 7 days camp, let's spend time on this. You have television. Your ashrams are well equipped with television. I'm calling you for a camp. No. Outside the class time, I want to sit with television. What will happen if you don't see television for 5 days? What will happen? You will miss on those serials. Are they doing you any good? What happens? Why are we addicted to all these comforts? All the pleasures, we are addicted to different kinds of comforts. At another point of time, they come on your way. When you are busy with so much of activity, you say, I am busy with activity. I don't have time for spirituality. So much work I have, so much I have, this and that. Where is the time? Okay, you have now aged. Now why don't you go and spend time? Why can't you spend time with simplicity? Why can't you spend time in an ashram? Where the room would be very, very ordinary. You can sit at nature, you can watch, you can introspect, various things needed. Why can't you do it? No. I am unfortunately addicted to certain comfort level unless that is provided. That's precisely the ashram is meant for, to break that comfort. And you want the comfort there. Now you understand what we mean by home at spiritual language. This comfort zone into which I become an addict, I can't give up. And what comes on your way? And what is comfort actually? Pampering the body, pampering the mind, right? Pampering some pleasures. It's body oriented. Comfort is mostly body oriented. You want to pamper the body through eyes, through ears, etc. Pampering the body means I'm living thinking I am the body. That's why I want the body pampered. And Vedanta says you're not the body. Body is a tool. You are that Atman and not the body. But my weakness is I identify with the body and I want the comfort to sustain that identification. This is what Shankara meant, escape from the bondage of home. Means escape from this bondage of comfort. Be with comfort, be fine. Without comfort, be fine. I am fine with people I am fine without people. Learn to practice. One should be fine with everybody around. You must be fine when there are so many people around you. You must be absolutely fine without anybody around you. You must be completely fine with the kind of food you like. You must be fine without that kind of food which you like comes to you. You must be fine. You must be fine with comfort. You must be fine if there is no comfort. With or without comfort. With or without people. With or without conducive atmosphere. One must be fine. If our education can give that, it will be beautiful. If we can get that, it will be beautiful. You understand what you have learned? You have learned adaptation. I adapt to different things. How many people are scared of people? Not comfortable. They like to be comfortable only with a handful of people. With others, they are not comfortable. Some are uncomfortable if they are alone. This is not correct. Yogaratova, bogaratova. Sangaratova, sangavihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati 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 eva. Bhaj govindam, govindam, bhajamodamate. Shankara says in Bhaj govindam, with people, without people, with comfort, without comfort, with pleasure, without pleasure, you must know to revel in that. That is beautiful. Why are they coming? Regularly you keep calling people,
Different press.
Different press, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Suvidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktir dridhadhiyatam shantyadik parichiyatam dridhataram shantyadik parichiyatam dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam sadvidvanupasripyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam brahmaikaksharamardhyatam श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्
Sangas sastu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktir tridadhiyatam. Sangas sastu, satsang. Here Shankara says, seek the companionship with men of wisdom, with people who are established into the higher self. Seek their companionship. This is a very, very powerful instruction. Spend time with people of wisdom, because that influence on us would make us grow. We need to choose the company of such people that the influence of them rubs into us. For example, let's say you got a chance to be with somebody like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and you happen to spend time with him, or a person like Vivekananda, or a person like Swami Chandananji. People like this, if we get to spend time, what happens to us when we are with them? We see how they respond. You understand? We notice something which is very important. We notice how they respond to different things. Guru Swami Chandananji was not well. the body was giving away, and he has to cancel 1 day talk. In Chennai, it was 7 days talk. One evening he just could not talk because the left ventricle was not functioning well, and the water was high in the body there, and the liquid has to drain off. So he has to call off 1 day, but he was not keen on calling off the second day. And they called one of the top doctors in the town. And he was to come and check. When this Dr. Cherian was his name, he was to check, and so the host who was hosting Gurudev went and said, Swamiji, Cherian said you should take off today also. You should not speak this evening. 2 days rest at least. Yesterday you cancelled, today also. Tomorrow onwards it's fine. The doctor is saying you should not do it. And he's coming to meet you tomorrow by this time, or something he was said. He was not keen on cancelling the second day. He felt much better, must take it up. So he was walking with a walking stick. So he draws a line. Imaginary line with his walking stick, he draws a line. And looks at the host. And he says, if Cherian crosses this line, the doctor, okay? And he's one of the top Asian doctors, you can say. If he crosses this line, he has to give me consultation fees. Not that he would pay. He's saying if he crosses this line, he has to give me a consultation fees. I'm going for lecture today. Now, I stood by him. I was standing when this response happened. I could see the man's wit. Left ventricle flopped. Liquid is there in the heart. It has to be drained out. Look at this man's wit. If the doctor comes again to meet me, ask him to pay me consultation fees. You understand? He should pay me consultation. Look, I'm talking about his sense of humor at that point of time. Now, something so serious to the body, how many people would laugh it off? How we would react otherwise? We would be much careful. No, call 3 doctors, let us have second opinion and third opinion if required. And nothing. Body goes. I was just awe about the sense of humor at that point where the liquid is still in his heart and he should not move around, and the man draws an imaginary line and says, doctor has to pay me consultation fees. Tell him that if he meets me, he has to pay a consultation fee. I am not keen. We have to go for drugs. The body is just a tool. Now when you look at him on a serious issue, he can laugh it off. How many of us can do it? This is satsang. You see how a person responds. Another occasion I saw him, people went to him and said, Swamiji, please don't strain your body. You're straining it too much. Too much of travel, overload of work. Please don't strain your body. He responded, shh, don't say it loudly. The body does not know. The body does not know it is straining, it is the mind, so don't say it loudly. You work 18 hours, you work 20 hours, but this is how you look at your own body. Now when you look at him, how he responds, the mind changes. And how they revel most of the time in the higher truth. You see with them, you see every movement, anything, they are reveling in the higher. I have seen him. That's why with him, every movement is an inspiration. Every moment is an inspiration. Just be around it is a great inspiration. This is how satsang is. There was the statesman, former minister C. Subramaniam, agricultural green revolution. He is a Gurudev's devotee. And Chilla Mission had another man by name Subramaniam, He was the president of Chennai Mission. And his initial was A. So there's a yajna inauguration. Gurudev is sitting in the center. This side is C. Subramaniam. This side is A. Subramaniam. He starts his lecture. To my right is A. Subramaniam. To my left is C. Subramaniam. I must be Subramaniam. Opening sentence, yajna inauguration. I must be Subramaniam. You also be Subramaniam. You are divine, be divine. Subramanya, the divine. Another name of the Lord. To my A is this, to my B is so in a row. No, it's just not a wit and play of the words, but the play of the words connecting you where? See, it can be just a sense of humor, just a good wit, but that wit connects you to what? I must be Subramanya. You also be Subramanya. Think. Every moment is a moment of inspiration. When we are with such people, we transform ourselves. Our vision expands. We don't think small. We don't think petty. We start thinking big, massive. And that massive thinking or the big thinking which they had slowly rubs into us. We start changing. So he says here, Sangas tastu vidiyatam. Seek the companionship with men of wisdom, with the people of wisdom. Seek their companionship. Let us be in the companionship of such people. Now, these masters are rare. We don't find them everywhere. It's not that we can come across them daily either. They are rare beings. So, Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, rare people. So what is the next best we can do? Seek the companionship of the people who seek that. Be in the companionship of seekers. First, seek the companionship of the masters. If that is not possible daily, be in the companionship of seekers. If you are in the companionship of seekers, the discussion invariably will be about something about seeking. So each one helps. It becomes a support system. Your companionship becomes a support system for you to seek that. Constant reminders. Be in the companionship of seekers. That is also very helpful. Because it's a very good support system. One supporting one another to think and move towards that direction. So be in the companionship of devotees or seekers so that we seek that. If this is also not possible, I'm in an office or I'm in a corporate world or my team, nobody even thinks that way. Their mind is completely only on standard of living and they don't even think about standard of life. What should I do? Stick to the books. You be in that companionship with or without understand. Yes, I have to be with them for some time, I'm there. But you stick to the books. Spend time with the books. That is also satsang, because then you are with the thoughts of these great masters. How beautiful, how many wonderful books are there. The Gospel of Ramakrishna by Ramakrishna Mission. Beautiful book. Every day happening, they have compiled it together. The Gospel of Ramakrishna. Ramana Maharishi's question answers when people went and asked questions and how he responded. Beautiful. Tapan Maharaj has written a wonderful book, his travel called Wanderings in the Himalayas. Wanderings in the Himalayas is a brilliant book. That's from Chinmay Mission. It's a great book where he wanders through Himalayas, travels, Ishwar Darshan, Wanderings in the Himalayas, looking at something. You know, it is through him we learn how to look at a painting. Through him we learn how to look at a flower. It becomes so beautiful. We see them daily, but then when we see how a master sees, it inspires. These books are also very beautiful. Tapan Maharaj comes out and looks at the clouds one day, and the clouds are all like a different, the skyline. with different colors and this the orange shades and various things. He looks at it and he says, today the mad painter decided to flash colors like this. Mad painter decided to flash colors like this. Looking at the colors, we think of the Lord. Looking at a sky, you think of the Lord. Looking at the clouds, you connect to the Lord. We learn the art, how they responded. So being with books is also satsang. Satsangastu vidyata. Seek the companionship with satsang. That is very, very important. Be established in firm devotion to the Lord. Bhagavato bhaktir dridadhiyatam. Bhagavato. Be firmly established in the devotion to the Lord. Let us be firmly established. What we generally do is, we now and then we are inspired, but we are not very firm. Are we a firm devotee? When do we seek God? Average person seeks God when they have difficulty. Artha. When there is difficulty, we seek God. That's when we remember the Lord. Oh, is this fair on me, oh Lord? Why are you doing this? Till the difficulty came, you didn't even remember Him? When difficulty arises, we think of the God. We need some relief from difficulty, not that we need God. You understand? We need relief from difficulty, so we remember Him. Artha, Artha, Arti. The other type. Seeking God for favors. Help me with this, help me with that. This sanction, that is not happening. This, I need this promotion to happen. I need this loan to be sanctioned. I need this tender cleared. Oh Lord, please do. Materialism completely. Difficulty or materialistic gains. To avoid difficulties, to avoid discomfort, difficulties, we remember God. To seek favors, we remember God. Otherwise, we don't. That's not correct. We are not firm. And it is dangerous. Then God knows only other way of making you remember. Give you more difficulties. The more it comes, the more we remember. How many of us go to temple to seek God, not seek something from God? How many of us do puja to seek God, not something from God? We do puja, havan, we go to temple, we go to yatra. How many of us go there to meet God, to merge with God, to connect with God, to express gratitude to God? We go there saying, this is not done, please do this. This is not done, I need your help. Bless me, grace me with this. How many? So it's very, very important that we don't have this kind of a thing. We must be firm. Because if we have that, we don't need anything else. The rest is a game. Play the game. But you have gained that. So our seeking of God must be firm. Dhrida, firm we must be. It should not be occasional. It should not be cause-oriented. We should love God for love. Seek God for love, that's all, nothing else. I seek God for something else? No. So this is very, very important that we firmly establish ourselves in devotion with God. Narada Rishi once goes to Vishnu and tells Vishnu, I want to go to the earth, bless people. What do you think I should do? What should I say? Is there any special message? Do you have anything which I need to convey? So Vishnu looks at him and says, okay, Narad, go to the world and say Satsang Mahima. Glory of Satsang. Tell. That's all you have to say. That's all. He said, that's all. If you want to bless anybody, bless that person saying Satsang Mahima. Enough. So when Vishnu says Narad came to earth and he was traveling to see where he can go and bless, he found a small kingdom. In that kingdom, a lot of people were coming and going regularly. He inquired, why are you going? Why is so much of rush in this kingdom? They said, the king has got a beautiful bird. And this bird can sing and chant. A talking bird that sings and chants. So he'll go there. So everybody was so happy that Narad Rishi came. So the king also was very happy, and king said, Narad ji, you have come on time. And this is the bird which brings everybody to my country. This bird is very precious to me. Now you please bless this bird. That's all I ask you. The king said. Narad took the bird in his hand, stroked it gently, and said Satsang Mahima. Immediately the bird died. Dead. Immediately. Narad did not know what to do, and the king was looking at Narad. Now, my God, the bird died. And all were sad, but some tried to be very decent, not to hurt Narad. They said, Narad, at least the bird died in your hand. Must be a very blessed bird. But Narad didn't like it. It was not like a compliment anyway. So the bird died in your hand, and Narad walks off. Goes to Vishnu and saying, what have you done? I went there, and what did you do? I just said what you said, and the bird died. So Vishnu says, Narad, you should have faith. You only have belief. Convert it to faith. Go again. And Narad goes after 3 months to another side of the world, never the other area he went. Safer place. And there was a fair, an exhibition happening, and lots of people were running, and the great attraction of that exhibition, probably went after 6 months or something. The great attraction for that exhibition was a dancing horse. You play a beat and the horse used to dance. Any beat you play and the horse used to dance. The dancing horse was a great attraction. So everybody said, Naradji, bless this horse. Narad was wondering why nobody says human being. Animals only are saying so. He went and he blessed the horse. It's true. Satsang Mahima, flat. The next moment, horse dead. Gone, died immediately. Narad disappeared before anybody could comment. He said, this is too much. He went to Vishnu and he threw a fit, saying, what do you mean? This is too much. I went there. The horse died immediately. 6 months ago, a bird died and now a horse died. What are you doing? And you say, go tell Satsang Mahima. Yeah, please go tell. He said, you have faith in me? Go say, go. So after almost another 6 months or 1 year later, he comes. He comes to, and he sees in a kingdom, a lot of people have gathered, and the king is in a mood of celebration. After a long time, he got a prince. His queen gave birth to a prince, newborn baby. And that was 10 days old. So Namakarma. So the child has to be named. And king said, what can be better than you, Naradji? You are here now, bless my child. Narad's hand started trembling. What do we do now? Started trembling. A bird is all right. A horse is still okay. A king who never had a child for a long time have now got a baby prince. And he has to bless that. He goes with shivering hands, touches the forehead of the boy. Remembering Vishnu, don't ditch me this time. This will be real trouble. And then he says, Satsang Mahima. The boy opens his eyes and says, I know. I was the parrot. Then I was born as a horse. Now I am born as a prince. I know it is Satsang Mahima. Do you understand? That is evolution. When we contact with the divine and if there is consistency, we evolve. We grow. That is firm devotion. Every time he was in touch with satsang, the bird was in satsang, the horse was in satsang. Dridam. If we are dridam, firm in satsang, it will culminate into devotion. Bhakti cultivates that way. Then that devotee will ask only God, nothing else. He will not be a artharthi, not even a jignasu. He will be a jnani who wants nothing but God. Every other thing which we have got, can we take with us? Every other thing which we have got, we need to drop it at some point of time. And people around us are going away and we know that they have carried nothing. Devotion has to go along. We need to be firm in devotion. So he says here, be established in firm devotion to the Lord. If we are firm in satsang, devotion would be very natural. Then we will not seek anything. So let's try this. Let's not bring in selfishness. In prayer, let's not ask the Lord for something ordinary. In prayer, from today, let's ask the Lord only. I want you, O Lord. I've come here only for that, nothing else. In prayer, let us, whenever we approach God, let us approach God for God, not something from God. Let's make it. It's a firm decision I make that I will go and pray only to God, asking for the God. Bless me to progress to divinity. Bless me to rise up to divine. Bless me with that. Bless me with a union with one reality, that is you. So that should be the prayer. Anything else is not, it's very ordinary level. So that is not firm. If we are in satsang, this urge will become deeper, then we will not ask anything from God, we will ask only God. Continuing. Cultivate virtues such as shanti and so on. Values are very important. Unfortunately, the attention is on valuables, then on values, isn't it? Attention is only on valuables. We need no. Valuables. Attention is on valuables. We have forgotten values. And here mainly he prescribes the value of shanti, contentment. Why are we so unhappy in life? In spite of so many things which we have got, why are we unhappy? Can you say you're a failure in life? With all that what the Lord has given? Can we say we are a failure? How much we have been blessed? And still not happy. Why? Please remember what all we have got as a blessing. If you can do this today, it will be very, very useful if you can do this. And tomorrow the classes can be much more. You can appreciate the classes much more, the discussions much more if you do what I'm telling you today. When you get back home, run through your life from childhood to now. And and start writing down at least 25, minimum 25 things which you consider as the blessings of your life. Become aware. 25 at least, which you consider as the blessings. These are the best of my life. Write down. Once you list down 25 minimum, I'm saying there should be much more than that. You can see that's a blessing, right? Imagine you're not able to see. How would your life be if you're not able to see? Health. You're able to walk. Various things I'm saying. So start considering different things like this and see what is your blessing. If we become aware of our blessings, if there is something we miss, it will not hurt. The moment I forget what I have gained and remember only what I have missed, I feel unhappy. Get this point very clear. I have been already blessed with hundreds of things, and I only remember what I have missed. Most of the humans make this mistake. They remember only things which they missed in life and forgetting what was given to them. If we can remember what we are blessed with, we will be grateful, we will be happy, and if something is missing, we would still be peaceful. Yeah, it didn't come, I wanted it, it didn't come, doesn't matter. I've got other things. Contentment, Shanti will be there. We would have peace with us. We will be peaceful. Today we are not. In spite of all these blessings, 1, 2 we don't get, we want something we did not get, something did not go the way you wanted, immediately disturbed, immediately upset, forgetting all that what you have gained. Think how much of blessings we have got, how much of good things the life has blessed us with, forgetting all that and remembering only what we have not got. Go back, run through your life and see what you have already been blessed with. Then we would stay very, very happy. Cultivate virtues like Shanti, etc. Avoid all desire-ridden actions. Point 12. We earlier discussed about desires which are where I see somebody else and I pick it up and then I think I also need it. I make myself unhappy that way. Here, maybe I have cultivated a desire like that. Avoid. We can transcend it. Because most of it is not required. If 1, 2 are there, it's fine. But a list of it unending, when are we going to be happy? We can't be happy fulfilling desires, because if you think you have only 3 desires and you want to fulfill them, you will. You will fulfill the 3. Then you realize there's another 10 which was not fulfilled. Please understand. This is what I want. These are the desires and this is where I am. If I come here, I would be fine. So I try hard to go there. This goes up. I go a little more, it goes a little more up. The unfulfilled desires keeps expanding. At the given moment in your conscious mind, you think this is all I want. If these 3 I get, more than enough. I don't need anything more. You get the 3, still not happy. By the time you finish 3, then you understand, oh no, there's a few more are there. I need that, and then I go after that. If I get that, I think I would be happy. And that goes off. Have we not done this to us from childhood? As a kid we thought, if I have this many things, toys, this and that, I'll be happy. As a youth you thought different things, if you have, you will be happy. As a middle-aged man or parent you thought, if I have this, I'll be happy. It goes on, isn't it? You have got those things, still not happy, something else is there. So we have to understand There's no point chasing this because this is not going to end. Drop. Is it required? Not required. If it comes on my way, fine. I'll be happy when it comes on my way. As it comes, I'll take. I do. With a great sense of detachment, if we pursue some of them, if they come on our way, fine. If they don't come on our way, it's alright. But I have pursued it with effort. Fine. But with a sense of detachment. Then I accept what comes on my way. I accept. I tried. This is what came out of it. Fine, I accept. That attitude to accept the outcome of my efforts is very important. Don't insist only this should come. How do I know? I don't know. Only this will come every time. I may put my effort. Something else can come. Somebody else may do it. Not all results are in our hands. Not all results are through self-effort also at one given point of time. It can be for another point of time. So we have to understand that these are not required. So with a sense of detachment, accept the outcome. We will be peaceful. Then the desire piling up will stop. Existing desires, let it get exhausted. Don't accumulate new. Not necessary, not worth it. We have seen 12 points. We will stop now. Take a short break. Come back again for the rest. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. 3:30, let's meet again for the last session. Samasta jana kalyane naratam karunami namami chinmayam devam satgurum brahma vidvaram. It is the companionship with the wise who would help us to rise our standard of life, because we learn from them how they respond to the world and various dimensions of the world. We learn the art of responding. And we need to cultivate virtues like peacefulness, shanti. Peace is a great value. Should not lose it quickly. That's something which we should be clear in our mind, that we get to be peaceful and it can't be lost. We can't squander peace just like that, because it is something which we should value and we should keep. Today, we are peaceful for a while, and how quickly it gets changed. Our peace is lost. Small things, which could be otherwise a non-issue, steals the peace away. In today's world, for children, teenagers, if they put a post in Facebook and enough clicks are not there that they like it or something. I put a photo of mine, very few liked it. Oh, you're so sad. Now others liking your picture generates happiness for you. Where is your happiness? Why nobody likes what I post? Look at the danger of uncertainties we face, and how much do we depend on different things just to be happy. And peace is something which we lose just like that. So quickly we lose peace. We should not lose it. I did a good job. Nobody said nice things. The good job is forgotten. The joy of doing good thing is forgotten because people didn't say a word. No, don't lose it. There's a great joy in doing good work, and that should be peaceful. So we are losing peace quickly. So if we can remember the goodness, then we will not lose this at all. And then now he says, Sadvidwan, Sadvidwan Upapash. Surrender to a perfect master. Ashrita, take shelter. Take shelter with a perfect master. Now this is a difficult thing to understand. Who is a perfect master? Surrender to a perfect master. Very good, it is very important. If we can surrender to a perfect master with all Shraddha, the faith, then whatever the master says, we would take it very intensely, and that can help us transform ourselves fast. The faith plays a big role. So it is better we surrender, but to a perfect master. How do I understand who is a perfect master? What is the definition of a perfect guru? How do we understand this? The Upanishad says very clearly the person should have two qualifications: Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Shrotriya means a person should be well read in the Shastras, scriptures, must know what is Bhagavad Gita, should know what is Upanishads, should know what is Brahma Sutra, Shastra mainly, and various other books must be well read. That is one. And that alone is not the qualification. He must also have a direct experience, he or she must have a direct experience about the higher truth. That is called Brahmanishta. Established in the higher reality, and one should be well versed in Shastra. This combination is quite rare. There are so many people who are well established in the higher truth, but may not know Shastra to articulate. Great masters are there that way. They have realized, but they won't even speak. They won't even say. They can't say, because to verbalize something which is beyond the intellect would be very hard. How do we verbalize that which is beyond the intellect? I want to know what the truth is at the level of the intellect would be very hard, because it is beyond the intellect. Through intellect we cannot understand that, because the intellect itself functions because of that. Like Gurudev used to give an example of torchlight. A torchlight, you hit everything. You hit the light, you see everything in the room. But the torchlight cannot illumine the cell in it. It cannot. So if you remove the cell, there is no light. It is the cell which makes the light on. Same way it is the touch of life, the Atman makes the intellect function. Without that the intellect cannot function. Through intellect to understand that would be out of question. It is not possible. So therefore, that which is beyond intellect, one should have the ability to articulate based on the scriptures, because they are the best articulations. People have tried. The closest references are made on the Shastra. So one must be well established in the Shastra and also well established in the experience. This combination is rare. If we are fortunate, blessed, Ishvara Kripa, grace of the Ishvara will bring us to a Guru of that kind. We won't get them that way. It should be the grace of the Lord to get. Such a teacher is indeed rare. Shrotriya and Brahmanishta is rare. There are many people who are Shrotriyas. They can speak very well, articulate very well, interpret the Shastras very well, but they may be still trying to become Brahmanishta. So they do not know what the experience is, but they will indicate everything about the experience based on the Shastra. Some who have experienced the higher, but they cannot articulate it at all. They try to tell it will be more confusing. And there are so many masters who have come that way, who try to articulate something, and people reading their books or listening to them are more confused in the end. They're confused. They read it and say, oh, very hard. I can't understand what he's talking about. So many people. For example, if you're not ready and you meet a master like Ramana Maharishi, who likes to sit with you in silence, what will you understand? He likes to communicate in silence. We may not understand much. Or if at all he speaks something, he's not going to open up Tattva Bodh or Atma Bodh and explain. He's going to talk from his own experience because he's not a Shrotriya that way. Definitely a Brahmanishta. Maximum he'll put a question like, who are you? Who am I? Enquire. Now if I am not ready, I won't know it. So this combination of higher experience and established in Shastra is rare indeed. That is rare. So if we find somebody like that, it is our good fortune. To that person we must surrender. We must surrender. Because whatever that person tells will make us grow. But how do I know? How do I know he's a Shrotriya and a Brahmanishta? Shrotriya we can know because you ask questions, the books are being explained, interpreted. To find a Shrotriya is easy. We can find out a Shrotriya. A person who can be articulate about the scriptures, he's well read, we can know it for easy. But whether he's established or she's established in the higher, how do we know? There are certain qualities indicated in the scriptures. For example, second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Last 18 verses talks about the qualities of a man who has realized the truth. In 14th chapter, there are few verses which talks about one who has transcended the gunas, gunatita. In second chapter, sthita prajna. Like this, there are places in the books which has indicated if a person who has realized the truth, how he or she would be. If we read those passages and we see the similar responses with the people, then we can assume probably, yes, this person must be Brahmanishta. Because there are references how a Gunatita would respond, how a Sthita Prajna would respond, how they would stay balanced. When we are in their presence, how we feel inspired. All these are there. So, but to judge from our side would be very hard. We won't know. Whether a person is there or not, we won't know. It's just a personal feeling, how calm you feel in a person's presence, how motivated you are. It would be absolutely subjective. One cannot know. So, but in case you feel those qualities which are indicating of a higher person, we must surrender. That is number one. In case you do not know, but the person is still articulate and there is a doubt whether he may be a Brahmanishta, may not be. There's a doubt. But he is definitely a Shrotriya or she is definitely a Shrotriya. Well established. Still there is no harm following. Because they are referring to the books which are authentic. Their experience may not be authentic. But the books they are referring are authentic. The books have proved. It has stood the test of time. That's why we always say Shastra Pramana. The scriptures must be an authority. So if a person may not have that experience, may have the experience, we may have a doubt, but if that person is explaining the scriptures, if he or she is teaching Gita, Gita is not wrong. Following the teaching there again is still good. So if they say Gita has told us this, you follow, then we must implicitly follow. Because following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita will lead us forward. So a Brahmanishta hardly speaks. A Shrotriya Brahmanishta, the rarest if we can get. And if we find only a Shrotriya, still fine. But if we find somebody who is neither a Brahmanishta nor a Shrotriya, then we must be careful. You see, he or she doesn't have a higher experience. Neither do they know the Shastra to guide you. So the guidebook is not correct. Experience of the higher is not there. Then it is risky. So if there is at least the guidebook, the Shastras are there, then that is still good. So Shrotriya is surrendering to a Shrotriya's instructions is good. Following a Brahmanishta, he has experience, we feel quiet, then probably we can also be through silence, we can go on. But if we can find a person like Brahmanishta and a Shrotriya together, a combination, That person is called the ideal guru. That is rare, and such a person we must surrender. Then whatever they say, we must implicitly follow, because by following what they say, we will move forward. But what do we generally do? Most people around the world, what do they do? What do we ask when we think someone is a spiritual man? I was in the airport a few days back, Delhi airport, peak time. I need to do the security check. The guy who was frisking me, he looked at me and he said, do you read hands? Honestly, do you read hands? I said, no. Face reading? Chera, take care. Something he said, can you say? Looking at my face, I understood. I said, no, I can't do that. What else do you do? What else do you do? Come on. What else do you do? I looked at him. I said, I teach Gita. Oh. Say something about Gita and go. He's peak hour, he's got the time. And I'm like, let me go, man. Say something about Gita. What Gita says, say something and go. Now, by now he chased me off. I looked at him and I said, Gita says when you're doing your duty, do your duty well. Don't waste your time. I said, thank you. Now, when we meet somebody, what questions do we have? Do we ask right questions? Most people, my business is not good. Bless me. So if that is what we are going to ask a Brahmanishta, what are we wasting? My business is not good. My problems are not getting over. When you have such weaknesses, you can be exploited. Be careful. It's a good fortune that you meet decent people. If you meet somebody who can exploit a weakness like that, you can be completely exploited. And desire is like that. If a desire occupies the head, and we don't need logic after that, we'll do anything. People like masters in some field. Let's say, for example, Sachin Tendulkar. He's a genius. The world has recognized him as a great man in his field. He still believes if he sits in a particular chair in an angle, India will play well. And he sits and he doesn't get up. You sitting in an angle, World Cup, you read all the superstitions involved in the World Cup. There is somebody who stands like this with one leg up, and that's it. They are scoring well, now stay in that position. Now you stay in that position in the pavilion, doesn't bring runs. It doesn't do anything with the other guy playing, but you believe in it at that moment. Why do you believe in it? Why? You want it badly. Not sure. When uncertainty hangs on your neck, logic, reason, rationality, all gone. Because the uncertainty is so high and you want it so badly, but there is uncertainty. So let me follow. I'll stand in one angle only, I'll sit in one angle only. It makes no sense. How many people do this for desires to be fulfilled? No logic, nothing. When a desire occupies the mind and you want it badly, we will not follow any of these. That's where all kinds of people are all around. So that's not correct. So we also should know what kind of questions we can ask. What can we ask? Do we ask questions on issues which will help me to grow Do we ask questions on standards of life? Think. So when we are not asking, we can't even know what kind of people. But if you are that seeker type and you come across a Brahmanishta and a Shrotriya, that's the greatest blessing you can have, surrender. If it is only a Brahmanishta, still surrender because the experience is authentic, somewhere one can be guided. If it is still a Shrotriya, surrender to the teaching. The books are not wrong, they are correct. The person telling may still be striving to get the experience, but the books are authentic, follow that. But someone who does not know these, both, I think one should keep off. So that is very, very important. So he says here, surrender to a perfect teacher and daily service sandals. Serve a teacher's sandals means service footwear makes no sense. And many people think if I touch the feet, it is no, it is not that way. Touching the feet of the master or serving the padukas of a master is very important to understand what that stands for. The sandal stands for what the teacher is rooted in. Why these great masters come to us? Why would a Vivekananda come to us? Why would Gurudev come to us? Why can't they stay in one place? Why are these people coming and reaching us? They are rooted in the truth. That is one. Second, they are telling us to wake up. So the padukas indicate they are awakened. I must also get awakened. And they are helping others to wake up. I will also work in that direction, in that vision to wake up others. So in simple, it indicates get awakened and wake up others. You get awakened and help others to wake up. It indicates that. So when I bend and touch the feet of the master or the padukas, I surrender to this ideal. I must get awakened and let me be useful for others to wake up. Some more people, let them be inspired and walk this path. May I be a fit instrument to inspire others and may I get awakened. The teacher stands for that, nothing else. Why would a Vivekananda be with us? Why would Gurudev be with us? They want us to get awakened, and through us they want others to wake up. You get awakened and you wake up others. So this is what the ideal stands for, and that ideal is very, very important to us. Because the best thing you can do to your life is get awakened. You can't give a better gift than that to yourself. Please understand. What is the best thing you can do with your life? It's your life. What is the best you can do? Get awakened. Realize I am Atman, not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. I am the eternal spirit. I have no death. Body is only an identification. Wake up to that reality. I am Atman. That's the best you can do to yourself. And what can be the next best you can do to yourself? Second best. Be an instrument to help others to wake up. Be an instrument for others to wake up. What is the third best you can do? Find out what is your inner calling. Your Swadharma. What are you made up of? What is the passion you have in life? Find that. Your own inner calling. Your intellectual DNA. Now I'm not talking about biological DNA. I'm talking about your intellectual DNA. What you are made up of. Your passion. Inner calling. The term is Swadharma. Find your Swadharma. When I find my Swadharma, I would be happy. Every moment I indulge in my Swadharma, I would like myself doing it. I would be happy. Swadharma. So if I find that's the third best, that's not the first. First is wake up. Second, help others to wake up. Third, find your Swadharma. Now use all three together towards one goal. So the Padukas represents this, the vision of the Master. What is the vision of the Master? Get awakened and wake up others. That's what all the teachers stood for. Anybody who has come down out of compassion to be with us, they have done this only for these two reasons. Right from the history if you take, why did Buddha go around and teach? Why did Shankara go around the country and teach? Why did masters travel around the world? Only this. Get awakened, wake up others. This is the ideal. So when I touch the Padukas, I surrender, I salute, I feel inspired for these two ideals. Get awakened, wake up others. That's what it is. So here he says, daily service sandals, daily service vision is ideal. Let us serve, surrender to God. Let us serve the ideal. What is the ideal? Wake up and get awakened and wake up others. How do we do this? In short, we have to understand how. What is the ideal? In more grosser language, this is when getting awakened is difficult to understand. In grosser language, preserve and promote Sanatana Dharma. What is the objective of Sanatana Dharma? The objective of Sanatana Dharma is for us to wake up, get awakened, preserve and promote Sanatana Dharma. Every other master who came, who did this only. So if we can do that, that is the ideal. So when I surrender or when I salute the Padukas, I serve the ideal for which they stood by. And then he says, worship Om, the immutable Pranava. Om is such a beautiful thing. It's a deep sound. The sound, the primordial sound, the sound from which language emerged. The sound from which all sounds came. So Om represents that reality. Simply uttering Om correctly, mind can become calm. You can try it. Just chant Om by yourself and you will see how quickly the mind becomes calm. And it has to be chanted loudly. Mind gets calm. So the very sound can quieten the mind immediately. This is the primordial sound, and our rishis have analyzed it so beautifully. And they say Om represents 3 states and beyond 3 states. What are those 3? What we are right now, waking state. When we go off to sleep, we are in Shushupti Avastha, deep sleep. When deep sleep sometimes gets disturbed with a dream, that is called Swapna Avastha. Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti. Waking, dream, deep sleep. These are the 3 states. All our experiences, sum total of entire experience what we have are part of these 3. Gathered in Swapna, Shushupti and Jagrat. The substratum for these 3 is God. When I chant Om, A-U-Ma is Om. A stands for waking state. Transcend waking state. U stands for dream state. M stands for deep sleep state. So A-U-Ma means go beyond waking, dream and deep sleep. Chanting of Om will transcend me beyond these 3 states. Beyond these 3 states is called the 4th state. Chaturtham Manyante. Mandukya Upanishad says the 4th state, which is called Turiya Avastha. Chaturtham Manyante. chanting of Om will make me go beyond these three states. Today my life is revolving in these three only. I do not know what is beyond that. So Om, when we regularly chant, it helps us to go beyond. So Om is seen as the absolute source. That's why Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Saraswatyaya Namaha, Om Kurubhyo Namaha. You understand? We use Om before everything. Om that way is a powerful sound. So he says, worship Om the immutable means go beyond the waking, dream and deep sleep. We can take this discussion tomorrow. How do we go beyond the waking, dream and deep sleep? By doing Om, how do we move forward? And then he says, listen in depth the declarations of the Upanishads. Instruction 16. Upanishads are not a book of light reading. Is not a book of light reading. It is a book which has to be reflected. Some books we can read light. There's nothing much to reflect. Novels, etc. You just read, that's all. You read one time reading, you understand, okay, it's a story, you leave it. Upanishads are not like that. Once when you read, a kind of an insight you get. Same Upanishad, after some time you read of little more sadhana you do, and read the same Upanishad, the depth is more deeper. You do little more sadhana, little more purification, little more seva. After 6 months you read the same book again, the depth is more deeper. Upanishads are a very deep books. Superficial reading will give us superficial meaning, but as we do seva, purify ourselves through work, etc., then when we read this book, the book gives a deeper meaning. So every time when I read Upanishad, different depths of meaning I will understand. First it will be only superficial, just the broad outline. Second time when I read, probably I go deeper into it. Third time I read, I go more deeper into it. Upanishads are books like that. So we should not read Upanishads in a lighter way. Don't try to read Upanishads when your mind is tired. Don't. We can't enjoy the book at all. The book has a depth. When you're complete leisure, lot of stillness in you, you feel very quiet. Read this book. They can hit you very hard with more quietude. They can push you into more depth. Don't read this book with preoccupation. Don't read this book with anxiety. We don't teach Upanishads that way. Gita is more easy to understand. Upanishad needs a deeper depth. So Upanishad, so here Shankara says, listen or read Upanishads with depth. How? When I read something, I need to understand it fully. Suppose the Upanishad says, you are a witness. How do you understand you are a witness? You are a witness. How do you understand? Sakshiva, witness. I have to go in depth, means I have to understand at body level how I can be a witness. When I identify with my mind how I should be a witness. When I identify with my intellect how I must be a witness, because we identify with these three. So going in depth, that way I will go deeper. So it's not just one time reading and reflecting upon it deeply. When I reflect upon the Upanishads deeply, then I understand the depth of it. Reading alone will not give. After reading, take the words and reflect. How can this be? Why is this said? What does that mean? Is it said only at the body level, or is it said for the mind level? How do I understand? Put different questions. Inquire more into that verse than what you have understood. Then you are reading it deeply. This is important. Do not read Upanishad just like reading. Once you read a mantra of Upanishad, go deep into it. Like for example, Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate. We chant this. This is the Upanishad mantra from Isavasya Upanishad. Purna means what? Complete, whole, full. That is full. Purnamada Purnamidam. This is also full. That is full. This is full. That is complete. This is complete. That is whole. W-H-O-L-E, whole. This is also whole. That is infinite. This is infinite. From infinite, if you take away, what remains? In infinite, if you add something, what happens to infinite? Now, how am I that infinite? Now you understand, you understood the meaning. That is infinite, this is infinite. You add infinite to infinite, infinite remains. You take something from the infinite, infinite remains. Now this is superficial understanding. In depth should be, how am I infinite? How am I infinite? Where am I infinite? Am I infinite at the body? On body, if you add something, am I infinite at the mind? Am I infinite as an intellect? On what am I infinite? Going into depth. So when we listen to a mantra, etc., we should know to go into depth of it. That's why, in general, the advice given for Upanishads is, and the word Shankara uses is, listen to the Upanishadic statements, Upanishads, with depth. Listen, he says. He's not saying read. He's saying listen to the depth, the declaration of Upanishads. Listen with depth. Meaning, no one would recommend a person to read Upanishads on one's own. Gita you can read on your own. Upanishads, if we read on our own, we can get confused until we are initiated how to read these books. If one or two books, two Upanishads, there are many Upanishads, one or two Upanishads, if we learn from a Shrotriya, guides us how to understand the book, then the third Upanishad I can read on my own. If I do not get the style of reading these books, if I read on my own, I can get confused. So Shankara says, listen in depth to the declarations of the Upanishads. And Upanishads have 4 beautiful statements. They are called Mahavakyas. I'll just mention what are these Mahavakyas. In depth we can talk about it tomorrow. First Mahavakya is Prajnanam Brahma. Look at this. What is absolute reality, or what is God? If someone puts a question, what is God? The Upanishad says, Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma is God. Prajnanam, Brahma, God. Prajnanam, consciousness. Consciousness is God, not conscience. Consciousness, pure awareness is God. One Mahavakya. Second Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. That thou art. You are that. You are not this body. You are not this mind. You are not this intellect. You are Atman. That Atman. Tvam Asi. You are that Atman. And advice. Second Mahavakya. Third Mahavakya. I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is that Brahma. One is that is you to start with. From there when I go, my experience would be like, hey, this Atman alone is that Brahman. This Atma is that Brahma. the final Mahavakya, the fourth one is Aham Brahmasmi. It is an experience. A man who has understood Prajnanam Brahma as an indication, Tattvamasi as an advice, Ayam Atma Brahma as clarity, and then the roar of experience, Aham Brahmasmi. I am pure consciousness, I am that reality. These are the Mahavakyas. Maha means great. Vakya statement. So in Hindu culture, you have these four great statements. These are the four great statements. There are many, many statements, but all the masters have picked up these four as the great statements. Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. More of this we shall take up tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll also do a little bit of practical meditation. We will sit quietly in end of each session. We will sit quietly and try to silence the mind so that we will be confident in our own sadhana. So we will have a little bit of meditation and we meet at 9:30 in the morning. 9:30. 9:30. 9:30 we will have the first session tomorrow and we'll start it on time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Double ডাঙৰ মানুহে আমি কি
Hello,